Welcome everybody. We are here live at Gamescom 2014. Joining me now, Alex, a different Alex, but yeah, another creative director is the same as the other Alex before.
Just different body.
Just a different body, a different vibe. But
Same
for
hive
Assassin's Creed Unity, we're coming all together now. We're all here.
We're united
unifying this
together
whole thing.
in these white chairs.
Togetherness. What's going on with Assassin's Creed? I know we're in a whole new world.
French Revolution.
Yeah.
Well, Unity is the first fully next-generation Assassin's Creed title that we've attempted, right? This game has been in the works for 4 years. With it comes a completely overhauled engine, a seamless co-op experience, and I mean, everybody knows the three pillars of Assassin's Creed: fight, stealth, and navigation. All of those three pillars have been completely overhauled.
Cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And you're
so
talking
I know that we have
four-player co-op, right?
Four-player co-op.
Four-player.
Yep.
How does that work?
Well, essentially,
Is that like just pure chaos? It's got to make sense.
You got to work
I mean,
together, I'm sure.
Together.
exactly. Yeah. Actually, like we attempted different things for co-op because, as you know, like co-op can mean anything, right? There's you know, some games where the actual game world is the co-op aggregator, right? It tries to beat you with a lot of challenge, like Left 4 Dead, for example. There's other ones, you know, you have artificial gating. For us, what co-op meant was actually sharing your Assassin's Creed experience with other people. So it's all about cooperation and sort of combined experience by complementary skills.
So you could say the fourth pillar is cooperation.
It is indeed.
Bam.
That's amazing.
I just blew your minds.
Have we seen anything like this in Assassin's Creed before? I mean, has this ever been teased?
No, like co-op is actually something that we've been wanting to do for a long time, but the actual fundamental changes that it requires were just too great to do before today, because since we really had to do this next step in terms of technology, might as well overhaul everything, right? It was a perfect opportunity to fit that challenge.
Out of the way. Move.
And this entire game takes place in Paris, am I right?
It does, most of it. The beginning is actually set in Versailles, which is sort of another palace and village around Paris, close by.
Right.
But it's not romantic. I mean, it's Paris. I thought you would be. I could show this to my girlfriend and be like, "Yeah, let's go to Paris."
She might enjoy it, but
might enjoy it. Yeah, she might be like.
This Paris is actually in the midst of turmoil, right? It's the French Revolution, one of the most terrifying periods.
The Reign of Terror, right?
The Reign of Terror.
Reign of Terror.
Oh,
you can almost smell the terror on all those peasants walking around in the city.
The blood.
It looks terrible for them. I feel bad for them. What are the characters like? So is this like just like the typical gang of assassins that are just coming together, or is there one main dude that's just a badass?
Yeah, the character is about one assassin. It's about Arnaud Dorian. He is you know, French from his father's side, actually Austrian from his mother's side, and it's a story about Arnaud and about his redemption quest, right? Something happens, a tragedy happens at the beginning of the game, and he essentially joins the assassins, at the beginning at least, as a means to an end, right? He joins them because this great mistake has something to do with the Templars, and the assassins are the most effective way to sort of fix that wrong.
Got it. Awesome.
I mean, yeah, that's incredible. So with so many of the Assassin's Creed franchises as before, I mean, we've had like anti-heroes, Assassin's Creed 3, and then the last one we had. It's kind of like a lot of characters kind of fall into this world by accident.
Well, I mean, it's true, but it's almost like real life, right? You never, you know, you have a plan and then life happens. Right. So, you know, we always, for every Assassin's Creed game, we always try to find a character that actually, metaphorically at least, represents the period in which he's set. You know, the French Revolution is a terrible period of guilt, of great things, but also of great cost and blood. And it's also a fratricide war, right? Where it was, you know, brother against brother, sister against sister, and, you know, of extremism. So Arnaud's story is all intertwined into that. You know, this is not so much a story about the French Revolution as it is a story about Arnaud set in the French Revolution, with the revolution really acting as a metaphor for the major narrative beats of the story, right?
Yeah, so Arnaud, I mean, he can't just use, you know, his bare fists. I can see that he has swords. He's got weapons. What kind of upgrades and what kind of stuff is he working with?
Right. Now, this is really where part of the big novelty that we have for Unity. We've always had upgradable characters. Like, I mean, all the protagonists in Assassin's Creed from you know, from AC2 have quite extensive upgrades, right? But they're purely aesthetic. You know, the suits are just visual. The weapons, although they are really nice, they really didn't have any different stats. Now this time, because we have the co-op, because we need that complementarity, we really wanted to add this whole level of variety. So again, you can customize Arnaud, but now every element that you choose to put on Arnaud actually has a bearing on gameplay. For example, the hood will make him blend faster in a crowd. You know,
That's cool.
Yeah, boots might you know, immune him to damage from you know, a higher fall. The weapons have, you know, rate of attack, they have damage, they have range. So really, the actual concept behind Unity is really carving your own unique path through the city of Paris. So, you know, even the game structure, we've really worked that around. Like before, Assassin's Creed was always about a linear story set within an open world, right? The issue with that is that if your main motivation is actually something like the narrative, that really plays against the open world concept, because you almost feel guilty. You know, the world is exploding, but you know, you have to go and fish for 4 hours. You sort of feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
So the idea with Unity is that
30%
your actual only purpose is your progression from novice to master assassin within that world, right? So everything you actually do within the world gives you something for your progression, whether it's the single player, whether it's, you know, Brotherhood missions, which are the co-op missions, whether it's the hundreds of different quests we have. All of that really gives you something, skill points that you can then use to buy skills, gear elements that will change your gameplay, all that stuff.
So whenever he jumped on top of that building, he kind of looked out of the vista of Paris. It's huge. So are you going to be able to just openly explore Paris right away as soon as you get into the game? Or are districts going to open up as you progress in the story? And does gameplay kind of change a little bit or shift as you open up or progress into these different districts?
At the beginning, we sort of close off the experience a little bit because we need to teach you how to play this game.
You got to walk people into it.
This is a very different game than the other games, right? And it's meant to be played differently. So we introduce, but once that has been done, so I'd say like after maybe an hour and a half of play, all of Paris is open. And the way, again, the structure of Paris, the structure of this experience is built is that you're really invited to explore Paris. Like going into a reach high point will reveal certain stuff, but it will not reveal everything. Like, you know, all of the different quests of Paris will not be revealed by a reach high point. Our goal is to encourage people to actually explore and discover stuff. And again, everything you find, every story you complete, everything gives you something that will help you progress your Arnaud, you know, on his path to becoming a master assassin. So everything is open. We actually even have a star rating. So you can attempt, when you have a 1-star Arnaud, you can actually try to do a 4-star mission. It'll be more challenging, but again, because
is it doable?
It is, because I mean, it's extremely challenging, but because there's no way why it wouldn't be doable. If somebody's good enough or finds a clever way, and that's the point, right? The way we've built our missions, especially like we have a new concept of mission called black box missions. Black box missions are structured in a way, I mean, the one we're watching right now, this assassination mission, is a black box. We give you a location, a specific location. It doesn't have to be an interior. It can be extreme. It can be outside the city, right? But we give you a specific location. We give you a clear objective. For example, kill a target, and then we let you do it the way you want to do it. And really, depending on your skill, depending on you know, the way you want to play, depending on all of those factors, your talent, you know, your whatever. It really, you can do the mission a whole different set of ways. And if you replay that mission, you can try to do it another way.
Awesome.
There's a lot going on. You guys have built an incredible experience, it seems like.
Yeah,
you said 4 years you guys have been developing this?
4 years?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
1 year for each player that can jump in.
Yeah, that's just how much it took.
Yeah.
So
I wish it was that simple.
Can people just jump in and out whenever they want? Can you just be playing alone and beat the whole game by yourself? And then, like, the last stage, you can just have, like, 3 friends just jump in and, like, help you out?
The structure is not exactly done like that. So the actual experience can be played single player throughout, right? And what we've allowed is for certain missions, the ones we call the Brotherhood missions, we actually allow players to jump in. We allow you to play from 1 to 4 players. So the idea is that Arnaud's main quest is a solo quest. This is what, you know, it's his redemption story. It's similar to other Assassin's Creed games, but with all of the improvements that I mentioned, like to the pillars, to the actual mission structure. And then certain missions are missions that Arnaud did for the Brotherhood. Think about, like, typically in other AC games, we mostly focus on the main character's sort of struggle, his story, whatever that is. And we never focus on the stuff that he did for the Assassins, for the Order of the Assassins, right? In this case, you can do Arnaud's redemption story, which is the single-player experience, and you can do any of the quests that Arnaud did for the Assassins, which are, these quests have more to do with the French Revolution itself, with famous characters of the French Revolution. So these are the ones that you can play from 1 to 4 player. But you got to understand it, like from everybody's perspective, they are always playing Arnaud. And the reason we chose to go with this direction is the fact that the one, as I mentioned, the one thing that's holding the entire game together, the whole motivation, is Arnaud's progression. So we can't afford to split and have more than one character, because then we'd go back to a structure that more resembles what we had before, where we had the single player and then we had the multiplayer, right? And this is what we wanted to avoid. You know, the stuff that we as developers wanted to do, and what when we asked every time we asked fans and players, they were asking for co-op. And when we dug a little deeper, like, what do you mean co-op can mean anything? And what they really meant, we thought, was sharing the experience with their friends.
Right.
So if you're going to do that, you need to really respect you can't change the actual Assassin's Creed experience, or else you'd be offering something else again, right?
That's amazing. No, I get what you're saying, right? The entire experience, not multiplayer, but those moments.
Exactly. And we're talking about 11 missions, and these are large-scale missions. They're about 30 to 40-minute missions. And the way they're set up is, again, they're black box designs, so they're made to be replayed often, because you can just find neat ways of doing it and finding new, original ways of completing the mission.
Right. Yeah, you guys are, masters of coming up with that.
So let's say John and I are playing together.
Yep.
We're in Paris. We're hanging out.
Yep.
Can we kill each other?
No, you can't.
Well,
you can't.
Why would we want
makes
to?
Sense.
We're
no,
friends.
Makes sense.
Exactly. We're friends.
Well,
bro.
Yeah, first of all, it's because it's a cooperative experience. You're both assassins. There's no reason why you would be.
I had to ask. You know how people are out there. They're a little violent when it comes to video games.
Run up behind my
that.
homeboy and shank him. Right there.
Thank you, John.
Stab you right in the lower back, right where that tattoo is.
I got that removed, man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Forgot
that's
about
removed.
That. Forgot about that.
We don't talk
my
about
bad.
that.
Not anymore.
It's a bad day in college.
It only happened once. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to talk about and share with us before we get going?
Well, I mean, this is it's a fantastic game we've been working on for a long time. I really feel that this is, I mean, when we first began working on it, our initial goal, our ultimate goal, was to really redefine action-adventure for the next generation, right? Much in the same way that Assassin's Creed 1 did. And then Assassin's Creed 2 brought that level of polish that everybody came to love about the franchise. And every generation shift, there's got to be somebody that redefines that action, well, every genre, right, including the action-adventure genre like Assassin's Creed. And we felt that it was our responsibility as a brand to sort of do that for the next generation. So our goal really was to redefine and set the standard for what's coming up next in this current generation of consoles.
So can you tell us when this is coming out, possibly?
Yeah, it's October 28th for Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Awesome. Any exclusive stuff maybe for each console, or is everyone just going to get the same package?
I don't have the exact details on that stuff.
Got it. No worries.
All right.
No worries.
There'll be details eventually.
Yes.
Yeah, you hear that? Eventually.
You'll get them. You'll get them. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for coming out here and sharing out all that awesome information about Assassin's Creed Unity. It looks awesome. I can't wait to play with my friends. Hey, you can be my friend too, us three. We can do it. We can run through Paris together. We could be like that Paris the teenagers rock group. And we can just cause trouble. And what do they do in Paris? I'm not world traveled. I don't know. You made the game.
Terraces, drink coffee, drink beer.
Yeah.
I guess.
We'll drink
red wine.
Red wine. We'll mix the coffee and red wine together. It'll be a whole new flavor. That's not going to be bad. You got to change things up sometimes.
You got it.
Thank you so much for coming out here, dude. It's awesome
Alex,
having you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, man.
And we'll be back here with more live coverage at Gamescom 2014.